Hello, hello, everyone.
All right, I have people joining.
Yeah, we're just going to give everybody a few seconds to jump on. We're super excited to have you guys joining us today. We don't want to take up too much of your time, so I'm going to go ahead and get us started to kick off. My name is Casey Lacombe. I'm the marketing manager here at Super Dispatch, and we're super pumped to talk to you about SuperPay today. What we're going to do is we're going to talk over what SuperPay is, all the benefits you'll feel from SuperPay, and we're going to actually give you a demo of how it works in our product. At the end, we'll do a Q&A. So if you have any questions throughout, feel free to go to this Q&A button at the bottom and submit any questions you have. And Vin and Ben will be able to answer all your questions. So to get us kicked off, I'm going to introduce you to our product managers, Vin Yuldashev and Ben Hargis.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Casey. Hello, everybody. My name is Vin Yuldashev. I'm a principal product manager here at Super Dispatch. I've been doing this at Super for over 7 years. I started my journey in auto transport back in 2009. I used to be a car hauler myself. It was an incredible journey. I was a driver, went all around the country, then owned a small fleet with some trucks. And ever since then, I stayed within the industry and moved into the software development. I love solving problems in auto transport and keep doing it. And very excited to present SuperPay for you today.
Awesome, Ben. Thanks. My name is Ben Hargis. I'm a product manager here at Super Dispatch. I've been at Super for about 2 years, 3 years in the transportation and kind of logistics technology space. I am always trying to learn from our customers. I started here at Super Dispatch on our customer support team, spending a lot of time with carriers and shippers, visiting them across the country. And I'm always trying to stay close to our customers and the industry. My involvement with SuperPay is I worked with Vin and kind of co-managed some of the research and development and helped with our carrier and shipper customers in our beta period. And we learned a lot about the pain points that they have in the payments aspect of auto transport.
Yeah, thank you, Ben. Well, before we jump into SuperPay, we know that we have a lot of different types of businesses on this webinar. I would like to mention that Super Dispatch is an end-to-end platform that helps shippers and carriers to transport vehicles. We have all the tools to help grow any type of shippers, brokers, auto auctions, dealership, dealer groups, online platforms. We have the APIs and all this on the shipper TMS. Then we have carrier TMS for carriers of all sizes, and we have Super Load Board that helps to connect both parties. And also we have developed the payments infrastructure on top of it. So Super Dispatch has it all, and it can help to grow your business. And we will try to touch different aspects of benefits for different types of businesses today on this webinar. Well, let's jump into SuperPay. So SuperPay is integrated payment solution that is built on top of ACH rails. So that enables shippers to pay carriers as fast as 1 business day after verified delivery. There are many benefits of SuperPay to both shippers and carriers, which we will highlight in detail in the next slides. But one thing I want to mention is that for shippers, safe and secure transaction with full visibility were one of our primary goals of building SuperPay.
Yeah, and there's so many benefits on the carrier side as well. For carriers of all types or sizes with SuperPay, it really just empowers carriers to take their time back so that they can really focus on the most important part of their job, which is to move cars, do it safely, and do it in a timely way. So yeah, the SuperPay really prevents all the chasing down of payments and calling each shipper customer for payment status or waiting to get paid through a third-party payment application. So it really just helps to streamline and allow you to focus on the most important aspects of moving cars.
Yeah, and going to a little detail here, we would like to highlight that SuperPay transfer consists of 2 steps where money travels from shipper's account into the wallet. And then once the delivery is verified, the the funds go from the wallet into the carrier's verified bank account. So it's very important to note that Super Dispatch is not merchant on record. So it is, the current setup is that it is as shipper is paying directly to the carrier. So collecting W-9s and issuing 1099s are still handled by shippers, but that is on our roadmap to help with that as well. As we mentioned, security is a big part of SuperPay, and we know that we are removing the burden from shippers to collect voided checks, to store them. There is a human error element to putting them into the fragmented payment systems. Then there is emails, phones you have to put in for payments processing, like Zelle, which is very popular among shippers. So SuperPay verifies bank accounts with micro deposits to make sure that the funds are paid to the verified accounts. It's not just going someplace that has not been set up before. And we know that we made it possible so that the orders could be assigned to any carrier regardless of their SuperPay status, because they can deliver orders and then be set up with SuperPay later to claim the funds.
Yeah, that's right, Ben. And for carriers, you don't need to set up SuperPay with every single shipper. It's a one-time setup, and this really just helps you to save time, reclaim some of that time sending, account numbers, routing numbers, W-9s, all these things back and forth. So carriers also receive a badge on their carrier profile that is visible to shippers, and it's just kind of relays to the shipper that you accept SuperPay, and that the shipper will know that they can pay you through SuperPay so that you're paid faster. For the larger carriers or fleet carriers on the call, the dispatchers, fleet managers, you can really just allow your drivers to focus on the most important aspects of moving cars, which is, to deliver in a timely way. And you don't have to worry about your drivers, connecting with the right person at delivery to get that check, or wait around to try to find that person. So.
Yeah. When I was a driver, I hated that part. Honestly, especially when I delivered to big dealer groups. And like East Coast, you would show up and you would hope that the payment is there. And I pray that hopefully the check is ready, but then you show up, it's like, oh man, sorry, the check is not ready. Then you have to go find the accountant. Hopefully that's not on break or on lunch or somewhere, and then figure out how to get that checked. And it was just a huge headache. I really didn't like that part. And we're getting into my favorite part, because I get excited every time I talk about this, and because it was my dream to create this visibility and to have this visibility when I was a carrier. So we're making payments transparent and eliminating junk communication, because this really gives full visibility and into both parties, for shippers as well, where they see the exact status of the payment. And it makes it the whole transaction from the beginning till the end fully live within Super Dispatch. So once it's delivered, invoiced by the carrier, the payment goes through and it automatically moves into the paid status.
Yeah, Vin, I'm sure you felt this many times in your time as a transporter. The lack of transparency with payments today is easily like one of the biggest pain points for carriers. Not knowing what's happening it's always a mystery. And SuperPay is allowing carriers and dispatchers and drivers to leave those kind of worries behind and just eliminate all the guesswork. You see the status in Super Dispatch. You don't have to worry about when you're getting paid. So this is definitely one of my favorite parts as well.
Yeah. So to continue with the transparency and eliminating junk communication, we enabled shippers to share the reasons why there is payment on hold. Currently, there's certain triggers that puts it automatically on hold. But we're also working on things that will allow shippers to customize and be able to handle those exceptions, because we know in logistics exceptions happen. Things don't always go as planned. But the most important piece is to make sure that both parties communicate and talk about it and make sure they're on the same page. And payment piece, this transparency of back and forth calling and figuring out what happens. Because when I was a carrier, for me, I typed in all the invoices, I emailed it to the shipper, and then I waited and hoped, did they get my email? Did they open it? Did they read it? When will I get the payment? All this piece was unknown. But today with this, status updates and the reasons on hold, I will be able to know for sure if the payment is being processed. If not, what is the reason for the hold?
Yeah. And that on hold status being end to end, this really just cuts down on all that outside communication, uncertainty, really allows, both shippers and carriers to be completely in the know of what's going on with payment. So this is definitely a huge, huge improvement as well.
Yeah. So here I'd like to highlight that SuperPay saves money and hours of labor per day for shippers. It helps to avoid errors and double payments. You can't pay twice for the same order, even if you wanted to. When shippers use fragmented, payment systems like using Zelle, for example, you have to worry about, did I process the payment? Do I have to go back into the shipper TMS and mark it paid? Did we send it to the right place? Things like that happen. We had a shipper who changed the payment term from SuperPay to Zelle because the carrier asked them to, and instantly regretted it because they sent $900 to the wrong place because the phone number was wrong. It was off by 1 digit. And then I had another case during the demo of SuperPay. One shipper told me that, they sent $3,500 to the right phone number, but the owner changed. So from the time that they sent before, these errors are costly, and this fragmentation costs a lot of money and time. So, and also here, Auto Dealers Transport, our friend Jay mentioned that, annually he was processing 75 to 100 checks that were returned to him, which means he needs to reissue them. He needs to deal with those back and forth statuses. And it's just extra work that's not necessary and can be avoided.
Yeah, definitely. And this automation with SuperPay is available for, both shippers and carriers. So carriers who are using the carrier TMS and our QuickBooks integration, all the payment statuses will sync over. And it really just helps to prevent that manual or double entry that you're, potentially doing in more than one system. And just really helps to make the process so much easier.
Yeah. So when we were looking for payment processing partner for SuperPay, it was very important for us to partner with the one who could offer customized, transfer descriptions inside the bank accounts, so that our shippers and carriers could easily reconcile. Because it's very important to go into your bank account and know exactly what you got paid for and from who. So all the transfers that go through SuperPay inside bank accounts, shippers see that the carrier, there is a carrier's name and the order ID. And for carriers, there is shipper's name and the order ID. So it's very easy for you to go in and search and find the transactions. Also, it's very easy for you to reconcile as it moves into your QuickBooks or somewhere else, so you can easily find and work with it.
Yeah. And before we jump into the live demo, just want to quickly touch on an aspect of SuperPay called digital delivery verification. So for brokers, shippers, and carriers, this system is an integral feature of SuperPay, which helps everybody to verify legitimacy of inspections and orders. It's definitely an extra layer of security to prevent any fraud by bad actors, and it really is the catalyst for automation for both brokers, shippers, and carriers. So carriers are prompted along the way as they're inspecting each SuperPay order to complete those inspection requirements properly, so that they also benefit from these faster automated payments right inside of SuperDispatch.
Yeah, so let's, oh, sorry, clicked the wrong thing. Let's jump into what is the result of it. So let's jump into what has happened after some of our successful launch of SuperPay. So the SuperPay is designed, as we mentioned here, we're talking to shippers, brokers, dealer groups. We have different types of clients here, and we have auctions at SuperDispatch. So this specific example is from a brokerage who was doing their process before SuperPay was 5-day pay, and from delivered stage until they sent the payment, it was taking about 4.5 business days to process it. Not because they wanted to, but because that's what it took with the volume they had. They had to go through double checking amounts. They had to double check carrier names, making sure they're paying the correct DOT, because a lot of carriers have the same name, issuing checks, stamping, mailing, dealing with lost checks, dealing with payment status calls back and forth. And that itself was like a big process. After switching to SuperPay, their payment from delivered into the money being inside the carrier's account went to 2 business days, which is a huge change. And that's really puts them into this competitive space where their payments going fast, carriers are more happy, they're getting paid faster. And also for the shipper and the brokers, it's much less work on the manual side. So what they're doing is they're verifying initiated orders, they're processing on hold orders, which is basically exception handling and making sure that everything is working as planned. And we have here some, like our friend Jay at Auto Dealers Transport calls SuperPay as a helpful assistant because it does all the manual work for them. It's not fragmented, and he just makes sure orders delivered, securely, and the rest is taken care of. And our friends Sean and Jen that use SuperPay, SuperPay brought them a better quality of life as it helped to remove all the manual steps of issuing payments. And what are the carriers are saying, Ben?
Yeah, so everyone benefits from SuperPay, and our carrier customers are definitely excited to now have the ability to receive payments from shippers and brokers inside the very same tool that they already use to run their businesses. So SuperPay has been out for just about a month now. Since release, we've had over 2,000 carriers who are now able to accept SuperPay payments, and we've already seen 5,000 orders paid through SuperPay. So this is huge, and I think it's a big validation that carriers are more confident and have less uncertainty around what used to be kind of a mystery in the aspect of moving cars, this payments process. So now they're able to truly focus on the most important aspects of serving all their shipper and broker customers.
Great. Well, let's jump into the live demo of SuperPay. There's a saying better to see it once than to hear 100 times. So let's just show that it actually exists and everything is working. I'm going to jump into our product called Shipper TMS. Again, that's designed for brokers and all different types of shippers who transport. They could transport one vehicle to thousands of vehicles. And this here shows the overall view. I know we have people who are not familiar with the software. They see it for the first time. So just to give you a high level overview here is that on the left side, we see the statuses, different folders. The whole order goes through this life cycle, ends it up here. And for SuperPay, we have a separate tab to make it easy for you to see the payments and process them. So what I will do for the sake of time, we will just focus on the SuperPay functionality here today. And here I have an order ready to go. Typically you would create an order, and here at Super Dispatch, we made it extremely easy to create orders by importing from different places. You can import CSVs, you can do it through APIs, you can do it manually, you can give your customers a portal where they can submit orders for you and they just appear here. So here I have an order that is ready to go. One important thing to note is that you just have to make sure your order has SuperPay as terms, and you can set this globally for all your orders moving forward, or you can do it one by one. So it's up to you. Once everything is ready to go, you would typically send it to a carrier. In this case, I'm sending it directly to a carrier who I have used before for the specific route. But if you don't have a carrier, you would post it to load board, and it would show up as SuperPay in the load board, and would tell carriers what that payment is with all the details. So it's very easy, it's very straightforward, and we invite carriers to set it up on demand. So I will just pick Ben's here an test account. I will send it. So from here on, Ben is the driver, I am the shipper, I'm the broker who's sending the order, and Ben is going to act as a carrier.
Awesome. So I've gone ahead and I've received this offer that Vin just sent over to me. So I'll just go ahead and view this from the text message I received, and I'll just quickly review this offer that Vin sent. And we'll go ahead and accept and assign this to a driver. And we'll go ahead and get started in the inspection process. I'm sure most of you on the call are pretty familiar with Super Dispatch driver app. And as we can see here, we have a new order, and we'll just go ahead and get started with that inspection process. And let's go ahead and Go ahead and scan the VIN to start the inspection. And we'll just take a nice inspection photo, 6 inspection photos of my Super Dispatch Rubik's Cube here. And I'll go ahead and mark this as done. I also have the option to fill out an interior inspection. We'll just go ahead and quickly, for the sake of time, grab our pickup contact signature. We'll save that and we'll mark the status as picked up. So here we see that the status is picked up, and we'll go ahead and inspect this through the delivery inspection here. So I'll go ahead and scan the VIN to start the inspection. I'll just scan the barcode I have here, and we'll get 6 more photos of our awesome Super Dispatch Rubik's Cube. All right, we are good to go. Again, here's that interior inspection, but we'll proceed past through the sake of time and get this delivery signature. And we'll go ahead and update the status as delivered. So Vin is getting these updates in real time on his end in the shipper TMS. We see that this order is now delivered. So here's a carrier. I have visibility on payment status as soon as that vehicle is delivered. So here we see that this order has a payment initiated status for tomorrow, actually. So we see the payment status on every order. If the payment has ever gone on hold for any reason, I, as the carrier, have total visibility on this in the driver app and in the carrier TMS. So it looks like this one was put on hold for damage at delivery. And of course, you also have the ability to see that paid status in the driver app as well. So as a carrier, I receive an email, a text message notifying me that my money is actually in my account. So as soon as that money hits the account, you're notified about it. Of course, for any fleet carriers on the call, if you want to manage permissions and disable your drivers from seeing this, you can obviously do that from the carrier TMS as well. That's it on the driver and VIN.
All right, so that was experience on the driver side. We'll jump back into the shipper side here. As you can see, right? You can see all this or not? Okay. So as you can see here, I have the shipper TMS open that is used for shippers and brokers. This is the order that I sent to Ben, and he has processed it. He has marked it picked up, delivered. It did update the status for me. So this is the status of the order and then the status of the payment. So we have an activity here that shows exactly what's happening. But as for the payment, we know here is that, the time and when it will be initiated. So this payment is scheduled for the future date, given that there is time to review the order to make sure it's verified, everything goes well. So there's an event of picking up the vehicle, then triggering the charge of moving the funds from the account to the wallet. And then once it's delivered, then it will start processing for the future date. So important thing to note here is we have, first of all, the exceptions. So if the order don't pass digital delivery verification, meaning that the driver marked the damage or they picked it up from a different location than the one that's listed, or they delivered to the wrong place, or it's the signature is missing, we have here the reasons. So this one has vehicle marked with a damage because it was marked after pickup. So you'll see it here. And for this, you will have to manually trigger and press this button to send the funds. And it stays here until you do that. And as the money is available in the wallet, once you click this, we process it the same day for the carrier. So the carrier gets paid. If you started this in the morning, by afternoon, they have the funds. That's for the exceptions. And you have the ability to put it on hold as well. So once you do it, it will show up as shipper put payment on hold for both parties. And you can add notes and all that stuff inside and figure out when you want to move forward with the payment. But the ones that have successfully went through the delivery, just like Ben did, you can see the different statuses inside. So we have the payment initiated orders, then we have the ones that are paid. So as Ben went through the process, let's say moving, fast forward, here's an example that, it was delivered on the 12th, it got paid on the 15th. And all the events here show exactly what happened. So it was charged, and then it was settled into the wallet, then it started processing, and then the carrier got paid. So this is whole experience here. As you can see, you don't need to go to a different platform to figure out if this was paid. You don't need to take notes into here and then go chase those notes in Zelle or somewhere else, which usually happens, or ACH processing where you do it. It's all end-to-end in one place. You come inside the order, you know the whole story of what's happening with this order because it has all the details, it has the pictures, inspections, all those details. So everything is managed here. As I mentioned previously, our brokers who use this, they come in and they look into this folder most of the time and make sure that all the scheduled orders are good to go. And if there is a problem with it, they put the payment on hold. So I think that concludes the part of the live demo, and we can take questions. So I will take it back to Casey here.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys. That was great. If you are an existing Super Dispatch user, whether it be on the app or our full platform, you can go ahead and set up SuperPay today through your account. If you need any help at all, feel free to reach out to our support team or your dedicated customer success manager, and they'll be able to get you started. If you're not a Super Dispatch user yet, don't worry, you can do it now. If you scan this QR code, you can get all started, whether you're a carrier, shipper, or broker, and start using Super Dispatch as soon as possible. But we're gonna go ahead and dive into questions. We have a few in the Q&A. One we have is a request, or if it's on the roadmap, to see if we're gonna add two-way sync of payment status with QuickBooks integration.
Yeah, I wanna mention that we know platforms like a lot of companies use QuickBooks Online. It is on our roadmap to have the direct integration of QuickBooks Online to make this, payments seamless. On the shipper side, the carrier side already has QuickBooks integration, and we need to do some touches with existing customers to make sure that the automation follows through, all that happens. But on the shipper side, it's possible today through a third-party API integration, tools like Zapier that makes it possible for us to handle it. But it is on our roadmap to have a direct integration with software like QuickBooks Online to make it seamless experience.
Awesome. And then how is SuperPay with Super Dispatch different than what our competitors do today?
Well, that's a great question. I think that SuperPay today puts Super Dispatch in a different level where we create this whole ecosystem in one place, the true end-to-end solution, where again, you don't need to go in different places, manage all aspects of auto transport. It all lives in one place, in one ecosystem. And we need to think about also the end side, which are the carriers who are also dependent on this. And that I look at it as, it's both ways, as carriers are doing a lot of the work for, doing the inspections, getting the signatures, turning on their GPS, providing all these details so that brokers and shippers can provide better customer service to their customers. So at the end of it, it's a reward in a way to make sure that it's all seamless. And as carriers do excellent job of delivering, they're getting the payment and having that full visibility at the end of it as in one place. They don't need to go and chase and do this extra work after they completed their job in a way of delivering that vehicle and providing that customer service.
Great. We have a great question from James. He's asking if we dispatch a carrier through SuperPay on the first order, and then next week the carrier moves another car with us, will it be SuperPay automatically, or do we have the option of changing the terms on each and every order / load?
That's a great question. Today, we designed it where it is one by one. You can control it for every order separately. So it doesn't look if you use the same carrier before or not. It just looks as either you universally tell all my new orders should be SuperPay, or you say universally it's something else, and then I manually change it to SuperPay every time. And I just want to mention here, it triggered this question in my head, is that with the billing, the way SuperPay and we charge fees is that we do not add our fee on top of the transaction to make it look different. What we do is we bill at the end of the month. So your transactions look the same. We just bill you for the service as an add-on. And it is a usage-based, which is very easy to control. So you use it, it's part of the transaction. You would be charged for it as a monthly bill versus you are committing into something for a long term. So it's a usage-based add-on.
Great. Some are asking for a recording. So we will be sending this recording to all of you, even if your friends didn't attend. So you will get a recording of this, just FYI. Another question is, in order to use SuperPay, does the shipper or broker have to be on the SuperDispatch platform, or can they not be on the platform?
Right now, it is, as I showed in the shipper TMS itself, in the product, you have to be on the platform to use our product. But if you're mentioning that, do you need to do it here? There is a way. If let's say you are an online auction or who's processing a large amount of orders, you don't need to come in and log in into our system. Everything is available through APIs. So it could work as you're assigning a SuperPay order from your own CRM or your own TMS that you have, let's say internally, and then you can assign it with the SuperPay and it will work the same way through APIs, the assignment. So there is a chance that you don't have to log in, but if you're talking about smaller shippers who want to just do it, then you have to come into our system and do it through here.
Great. Another question, what happens if the payment should be adjusted after delivery? For example, if a broker or shipper needs to pay extra or deduct after the delivery has been completed?
Yeah, that's a very common use case. We are about to release this change where you can do it systematically and it's synced both ways, where the shipper broker can adjust the pay, and then we would make that change and then issue the payment to the carrier. So that use case is covered.
Great. Can we stop the initiated payment at any time prior to delivery? Let's say a carrier is doing multiple loads for us and one car gets damaged and we need to put a hold on all that carrier money until the damage claim is completed.
Yes, as long as the payment is not processing already on the day of the payout, then you can put it on hold at any time. But if the payment already processed, meaning that it's already sent to the carrier, it's on the way, then it's too late. The only way to interfere or stop it is through your own bank. Just like any ACH, you'll have to go through your bank. But other than that, inside the TMS, yes, you can put on hold all the orders for that carrier and hold it until you figure things out and go back and forth and then manually deduct something, make the change, and then pay the carrier. So that there is that flexibility.
And this is really that arbitration period that we've built in for brokers and shippers as needed.
Amazing. All right. There's one last question. Oh, they just said, thank you for answering the questions. All right, that's all the questions we have for today. I know we're a little over time, so thank you for everyone for sticking around. Like I mentioned before, this is recorded, so we will be sending this to you as soon as this completes. So you'll have access to that recording. You can share it to your teams. In the meantime, again, if you're already on the SuperDispatch platform, you can go ahead and you can get started on SuperPay in your account. If not, you can use this QR code to get started. And again, if you need help, feel free to contact our support team and we can either help direct you to a specialist to demo it for you again, or you can get started in your own account. So let us know how we can help and support you. And thank you so much for taking your time to join us today. We all know you're super, super, super busy. And we really appreciate you guys and your time. So hit us up whenever on social media, on our website. We're always here for you guys and we love all your questions. Are happy to answer them all. And as usual, we just want to build the best platform to help you guys have everything you need to move cars in one place. So thank you so much, everyone. We appreciate your time.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, everybody. Take care.